Hello, this is Oliver Harbour, one of the artists from the Marvel Flair 2024 set, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness. We've got a full house this week. We've got Wesley.
Heyo.
We've got Josh.
Hey.
We got Keith.
Morning.
We got Jason.
Hello.
And we have a special guest, a fellow countryman of mine. So for those of you who struggle with English accents, the next 90 minutes or so are going to be pretty terrible, quite frankly. But I'm really tickled pink to have this young man on the show. Oliver Harbour, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
You're more than welcome. Now, you are a new name to many Marvel card collectors. And much like our recent Australian guest, Ben Brady, you are making a little bit of a splash in this new Marvel Flair set. So, but I've never heard of you, but I had to scroll through your Instagram feed and I'm kind of like, how did I not hear about this guy? There's photos of him with Julian Boris,
don't we?
Eric Wilkerson. This is like legendary people who we know in the Marvel card scene. So, Oliver, like I said before we started recording, it feels like we're kind of a committee interviewing you for a job. But tell us about yourself. Where did you come from? What's your background?
Oh, well, so my background's pretty varied. My start right at the beginning. I trained as a blacksmith when I was 17.
Wow.
Then I got into photography. Did that for about 8 years. In the meantime, I also trained as an equine spinal therapist because my mother was crazy and she wanted me to do horses. She was a racehorse trainer. My dad was a blacksmith. My sister's a jockey, or was a jockey. And then they wanted me to get into horses. So that kind of stuck, the horses, but I ended up doing portraits, and the photography helped with the portraits, and that just kind of grew. I always had a love of fantasy. I think I've spoken about it before, the fact that it was the first Boris Marvel Masterpieces set that I saw, Carnage, when I was at school, which got me into it. And it kind of grew from that, to be honest. And then the fantasy side took a backseat for a long time because I was trying to do the blacksmithing and the horses. Didn't gel with that, didn't gel with the people. And I just loved the creative side of it, to be honest. And then it wasn't until I kind of came back to it about 5 years ago, I ended up doing a stint at CG Spectrum, which is where I did an advanced illustration course with Eric Wilkerson. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him, but he does a lot of like MTG stuff and stuff. He's a pretty cool guy. And so it was just after I'd done that I actually got the email from Erica at Upper Deck, and that's when I got my gig here.
Wow. Okay. So now, had you obviously you referenced being aware of the Marvel Masterpieces set from '96, but as someone, a fellow English collector knows, unless you're looking for it, that stuff's pretty difficult to kind of find or even see around. So did you find it because you were kind of drawn to Boris and Julie's work? Okay.
It was Boris and Julie, yeah. And I had the pleasure of meeting them at the first time when I went to IXCon over in Philadelphia, which I did 3 years ago. It was a meetup. So because CG Spectrum is an international college, like I was the only one from Britain. I had another not colleague, another fellow student in Scotland, Tony, and then so we all decided to get together with everyone who was on the US side and meet up in Philly. So that was the first place we went to, because Eric was like, it's a really cool place. You will literally see the creme de la creme of fantasy art. You can't fault it. And so glad I went. I got completely enraptured with it. I ended up applying to do the showcase the year after, which was the weekend event. Loved it. And then I applied to get into the main show, and I got in this year. So I'm up there this October to exhibit in the main show alongside Boris and all that lot. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. For those who want to hear Julie and Boris, they were on episode 50 of this podcast about 4 years ago. So you can find that on YouTube or on your audio. There we go. That's the first advertising plug. Was that smooth enough? No.
Good transition.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it? So tell us about that. Was it a call or an email from Upper Deck?
It was an email from Erica. Yeah.
Okay.
She was like, seen your work on Instagram. Would you be interested in working on this? And I was like, yeah. So it kind of just went from there.
Wow.
It
Okay.
was back in 2022, I think.
Yeah, that kind of fits with the timeline of when a lot of people were kind of working on this that we've kind of heard. I think they all come to about the same time. Did you know what set it was going to be for?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Ah, interesting. Okay, that is interesting because we know some artists were just did works and then they ended up going into different sets.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now and I know that. Sorry, I'm getting all back to front here. Do you know that if there's other sets coming up that may or may not have your work?
No.
No.
No idea. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. See, there's me thinking, yes, I could tell you, but I'm going to have to kill you.
I can't spell anything. No, there's nothing to spell.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Back to front.
Well, there's a pretty good chunk in this set. So you've done, how many pieces did you do for Flair?
13.
13. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I mean, you've posted them all on your Instagram, and I pulled 3 of them. So let's get into them a little bit. And I know, Wesley, you've got some there, haven't you?
Got a couple, yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want me to,
Yeah. Well, do you want to start with yours, Wesley?
you can go for. I mean,
No,
however you
I
want to do
want Oliver to tell us about how he approached each piece. And before Wesley pulls up his mini Wesley cam, you got Wesley cam ready? You
I
gonna
do.
flip to Wesley cam? Flip to
Yeah,
Wesley
I
cam
do.
because then I'll make you big on the screen. There we go. So,
Let me see if I can.
Oliver, now the thing that I always like to kind of hear is did you have a choice of character? Did they give you a list and you chose, or
They did give me a list and
Right.
I chose them.
Oh
and
wow.
did you get them all straight away?
Sorry?
Did you get them all the ones you asked for?
Yeah, and more. So I started off, they offered me 7 cards. And then they had a kerfuffle to do with either somebody pulled out, couldn't deliver or something. And she said, could you do some more? I was like, yes. So I started off with 7, then I ended up doing 13.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty decent chunk of the set. So we might as well call this Oliver's masterpieces for all intents and purposes. So tell us about. Well, I kind of want to know kind of how you work, what medium you use, and how you kind of your process a little bit. So
This lot was all digital because I literally had I had about just over a week in total per card to produce it. And there was no way in hell I was going to be able to get models in for each one. I mean, I got my best friend Georgina, bless her, literally like wrapped around cloth, and I was like, right, jump, do this, and she's like, yep, cool, done. So we had a bit of fun doing that, posing and basically like making sure the anatomy was right and stuff like that. But these were done mostly in Blender. So I would model them and light them, and then once, I mean, working from thumbnails, so I get my idea down, and then once I got my rough idea of what I knew I wanted to do, I could take that into Blender and kind of go, oh yeah, that works, type thing, and then kind of just translate it into digital.
Nice. Okay. So because I've seen you posting about a kind of sketch thumbnails that you did.
Yes.
For the characters that I believe you've just made available. Am I right?
Yeah,
Correct.
they are. There's still some left on my site. This weekend, I didn't realize quite how popular they would be, to be honest. It's been quite overwhelming, and lovely. So yeah, they're hang on, let me just show you one.
Hang on a minute,
So
Wesley. I'm going to come back to you.
That's fine.
Let me make him big. There we go.
So can you see that all right?
Oh
Yeah.
that's such
So
a cool idea.
That's cool.
I
just,
love
yeah.
that he did this. Like the hand care that you're putting into doing these individually yourself and putting them out for everybody. They were just really freaking cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
just,
agree.
I just thought it'd be nice to have a little keepsake for people, really. Because at the end of the day, these just get shoved in my folder of thumbnails, and I kind of look back on them and go, "Oh, that could be a fun painting or something." And yeah, so that was the third idea I had for Phoenix. So that one didn't get done. It was the number one, which has been sold, but that was, hang on, I'll grab it. So this one, it's been sold, but that was the one that was actually used in the the piece.
Yes. Wow. Oh, okay. So there's multiple kind of concepts, if you like.
Yeah.
And you might not have gone with the one that
I'm much better at doodling and like vomiting that mind spaghetti onto paper with a pencil than I am with anything digital off the bat, as it were. And then once I've got a solid idea, because if it works this big, you know it's going to work at any size. If it reads and you've got a decent silhouette and there's some energy and the dynamic position is kind of like really like keyed in, and you're like, that looks cool, then yeah, you can kind of work that whatever size you want, really. And so then I take that into Blender once I've got the model sorted, and then I will use that as a base in Photoshop and just or Procreate I've been using recently, and just paint over the top.
Wow. Okay. Cool. This is like alchemy to me, because you know, I'm not an artist at all. I hear, you know, I see people do time lapse videos, both digital and physical, and it's just you know, just amazing to me. Right, we're back onto big Wesley Cam. Let's go on to little Wesley Cam. So what you got there, Wesley? Oh, you're going with a different one, right? Okay, we're going to go with Blade.
Yeah, so I got the blade there too. I thought my focus is
your focus is off a bit, isn't it?
Let's see if I can move this.
Oliver, quick question, sir. Did I know Ian asked you about the selection that you got to choose the characters. Did you get to choose the version of the character? Like, was there any direction?
No,
on
that was handed to me.
Okay.
So like Gamora, for example, I didn't get to choose which outfit she was doing or anything like that. I chose the character.
Gotcha.
And I chose the characters because I liked those characters. And I thought I could do some really cool things with them. But I didn't get to choose which era, which version of the costumes or anything like that. I was literally giving a series of pictures going, right, we want this stuff on this person, go. But because it had to be Disney-fied,
sure.
Again, Gamora's outfit from the back in the day in the 60s was tough. A little bit showy, and a bit too much for Disney. I think they would have melted somewhat if I'd have done
that. Yeah. I love on the Goblin. I love the glider. The glider's beautiful. That's perfect.
That's I think that one's my favorite.
Let's go back to Gobby. Let's go back to Gobby. I love the eyes on the glider.
Yeah, the glider is perfect. The two together, just that contrast of, you know, man machine kind of thing. It's this is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. And then like the colors, the green and the purple, and
the eyes, it looks alive. You know, it looks alive.
Thank you. Because I really wanted to like push his bag of tricks, because it wasn't just like pumpkin bombs he had in there. He had all sorts of crap and tricks up his sleeve. So I didn't. So many pictures of him are so iconic with the pumpkin bombs. I just didn't want to just own. Oh yeah, it's got pumpkin bomb. Boom, like job done type thing. So I just wanted to push that there was a bit more to him than the pumpkin bomb.
And he's leaving. Yeah. He's leaving the chaos. That's already gone down.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I dig it. I tell you what I really like. I love the little ears and the eyes on the glider. It just makes me smile. It's kind of got headlamps.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, the eyes in his eyes almost are an exact match.
Yeah.
Right. And then the pumpkin bomb, you know, when you see the smile and the glow of the eyes on the pumpkin bombs, you see that in the glider, and it's just the connection there. And it's stealthy. You know, so this one this is a winner for me.
Yeah, I like it. Very much. You can feel the explosion, like, you know, it looks like you captured it mid action. The bomb's exploding, and you see even the way his bag is like moving, kind kind of away from him instead of being stationary. It's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, I often I wondered about the photography end of it. I shot cars for for Mercedes, just taking pictures of cars every day, same thing. But I have to imagine, like, you get into it. You get, even if you're not from a photography background, you kind of get into it. And I imagine your experiences there kind of help with some of these poses.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we're back to blur cam. Yeah.
Leslie, pull it out of the sleeve. Maybe the reflection of the sleeve is. I mean, I know the card itself is shiny, but
yeah, I won't lie to you. I've never heard of Molecule Man. Maybe
have you not?
No, I haven't. Who's Molecule? When I first saw it, I thought it was Vision to begin with, but then I kind of read and realized it wasn't. So, who's Molecule Man?
He's got some interesting abilities where he can, literally create and warp matter to the point where,
wow.
I can't remember his backstory now, but I think it was a chemical accident that ended up giving him his abilities.
Right.
And then I can't remember who basically tainted his mind, and he's got a lot of inner struggles. So although he has literally the power of a god, when he's on form, he can do all that kind of crap. But it's like most people, if they're having a bad day, don't get out of bed. That's literally how he works.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a lot to do with the Secret Wars.
Okay.
Kind of timeline.
Yeah. It's interesting. What I love, I was just looking at some of the other cards, and actually the Goblin one as well. There's always and this is where pieces that work in Marvel cards look like they could be a single shot from a film strip. Do you see what I mean? So you can kind of imagine the before, you can imagine the afterwards, and you can kind of get a sense of that motion carrying through the frame that you're particularly seeing here. And this one's no different. I love the background on this one. And it's, just something about it just kind of really sets it off.
It's funny. I was speaking to Ben about that, and he was saying, "I love the effect you got." And if I'm completely honest, it was complete fluke on one of them. Like, I blurred it on a twist, and then I put 3 different layering effects on them, and I was literally just like tapping through the layering effects on Photoshop, and then one just went boom, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, that one. I'm keeping that one. And then so that's how I started. I think it was a combination between like a hard light and something else, and it just it popped. It looked so cool. I was a bit like, yeah, I'm keeping that one.
Cool. That's really cool. I mean, like I said, I don't know the character. Is he kind of on the Avengers spectrum of things? I don't know. Have any of you guys ever heard of it?
I think something to do with Doctor Doom basically got him to create the other planet where they could do the little Secret Wars battle.
Oh, the battle world kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'm not overly au fait with his line.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I think I revisited the latest Secret Wars early, not too long ago, and he was involved in the very beginning. I remember.
Of course, we could just flip the card over and see what it's.
Yeah, I was like, did they do away with the character bios?
Oh, can you read backwards?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can see.
No,
that.
it's straight
for us. We can't read blurred though. However, it feels like when you go for an eye test and you haven't got Oliver on.
How about now? Can you see it now? Oh gosh, I feel horrible. Yeah.
Oh well. It's Fantastic Four kind of spectrum of things.
Yeah, I looked him up on Wikipedia, and he's been he looks like he's a Fantastic Four villain, and he's been around since 1963.
Okay, cool. So shame on me for never having heard of him. Well, I think after this, we'll all have to go off and study Molecule Man.
Sorry, guys.
It's not happening at all, is it?
Maybe just a little bit of distance with the focus.
Yeah, I think you'd have to because you're on a flat surface. You have to pull the camera back, maybe.
Almost.
This is fun. Welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
There we go. Bingo.
Right, here we go. So now, what I love about this, okay, Oliver, did you write your own little bios on these?
Yes,
you did.
Very cool.
It did make me laugh.
No,
when I was reading.
No, sorry, not on these. No.
Right.
No, these were done for us.
These
we
were
were
done
literally
for
just
us.
given the artwork.
So
I was giving them the artwork.
I've got two here. I got the Phoenix and the Carnage. Now on the back of the Carnage it says Oliver Harbour created fantasy artwork, but he got the chance to illustrate his take on Marvel characters for the Upper Deck Company. So that's on the Carnage. On the Phoenix, Oliver Harbour, an illustrator of fantasy artwork, got the opportunity to work on Marvel characters for the Upper Deck Company. So they haven't varied them too much. I mean, there's literally like a comma missing. But this one, the Magneto, makes me laugh. Oliver Harbour left his job as a manager and became an illustrator. He created Marvel character art for the Upper Deck Company. Wow. I love it. You left your job as a manager to create this Magneto card.
Yep. Worked in a print shop.
We're very it's the number of jobs you've had. I mean, so we've got equine, spinal
therapist, not for very many years,
blacksmith, photographer, print shop.
Wow.
Good Lord. Is there anything you can't do? Okay. Wesley, you got any others?
That was the
that's it.
That was the three that I had.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna show Magneto then, because that's the kind of man that I am. Where's the little spot? This is great.
I love one of my hits was the blue Flair.
Oh, well, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun as I'm flipping through the set and I'm finding your name. Yeah, I just realized one of the get my
pull it back. There we go. This is such a professional setup we've got going on here.
Oh yeah,
Professor X. This is pretty cool. Yeah, I love a good bit of Professor X. I like his tie going off in all sorts of directions.
Yeah, it's nice.
Background cool. Is he kind of whizzing at quite a speed there, like those mobility scooters you get in Sainsbury's?
Well, it hovers, doesn't it? So yeah, I can imagine he's going down the veg aisle pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little flow there.
You got any others there, Josh? While the camera's on you?
I do. I've got.
How many boxes have you done, by the way?
2.
Oh well, okay.
Oh,
pull that back. Oh, nice. Odin.
I think that's my favorite. My favorite of the piece.
Yeah, this is a nice card.
It's just a kind of I mean, we just think of Odin as just this kind of king sitting around or whatever, but I mean, this action shot's just he's just so powerful.
Back it up a bit.
In it.
Oh, Josh.
Wes, I apologize. I was criticizing, silently. I was.
It's not easy to get this shit right.
Yes. Yeah, he's a smart guy. I know him well.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
I mean, the Odin. What I like about that, again, you've nailed the fact that he's a dynamic and powerful. I love this piece.
I do too.
Again with the background, but it's just yeah.
This is one of my favorite Wasp cards. I love the way this thing's sharp looking, the action, the background, the wings. I don't know. I think we already saw Blade. I believe
we did see Blade. Yeah.
And,
that's awesome, though. I mean,
Goblin. Yep.
Oliver, when you're doing these, did you feel like I have to make them look flary? And what I mean by that is they fit perfectly with what I've ever seen from Flair. Like in 2019, I think some of the cards didn't fit in with the previous Flair sets in the way that the cards looked. This looks like it could have been in any series of Flair back in time or now. All of your stuff fits the theme.
Yes.
No, but thank you. No, it was just what seemed right to me. Because I've always tried to push dynamic movements, and as long as you can get enough narrative in there to kind of sell the story of who the character is, job done in my respect. So no, I didn't really kind of know that many Flair sets before to have actually evaluated them and then tried to put that in. So I'm glad it fits.
Yeah.
Well, this is only the 4th.
They belong for sure.
But yeah, I mean they are quite 94 and 95 with the first two, and they were kind of, some of them were a weird mix of early computer generated stuff as well as kind of traditional illustration. And in that weird, do you remember the movie Lawnmower Man from the 90s? Pierce Brosnan.
Good one.
Jeff Fahey, and how kind of very of the 90s the CGI and the computer generated things looked. It kind of has that vibe about it. Well, I'm thinking actually more Marvel Metal, but equally within the set, Flair was very much known for being, it had some more obscure characters and a much more diverse range of styles, because up until that point, the sets had all been pretty much one artist, like Jusko doing Masterpieces, the Hildebrand brothers, Bagley doing his Amazing Spider-Man set. And then all of a sudden you've got something like Flair, which is a real melting pot, not only of obscure characters, but all these different techniques and styles. We've got some artists doing very traditional styles, some artists doing computer generated stuff in the mid 90s, probably on an old BBC Micro or something like that. I'm just trying to think of something you'd be aware of as an Englishman. Of course, you were probably barely born at that point. I want to look at Magneto, because I love Magneto in this, because he looks like he's in a Zorb ball. Does anyone know what Zorbing is? Because Magneto's doing it in this one. I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
I won't lie, I struggle with Magneto representation in cards, because I've always enjoyed the character in films, but I actually, possibly unpopular opinion time, I find Magneto quite dull on a lot of cards and in a lot of comics. Yeah, he I don't know. Next thing I'm going to tell you, I'm not really a big fan of David Bowie, and I'll have people throwing rocks at me. But no, I like this. He's zipping along. So what was it? What was the thinking? And was this your first kind of choice? How many kind of concepts did you do for Magneto? For example?
I did 2, but to be honest, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with Magneto from the off, because I grew up with the kind of original kind of animated series when I was a kid. As you say, I was born in 88. So like when the 90s kind of kicked in and like cartoons were introduced to my life, I was like, this is cool. And then I felt there wasn't much of that representation of what he kind of always used to do, which is create that like field around him and just like, right, I'm gonna fuck off up there now, here we go. And there's this impenetrable bubble that like he just creates around him. So I just wanted to be able to like portray that he was just this awesome being and you could just not touch him in his bubble.
Yeah. Oh, I dig it. I really dig that. I love the color scheme of it as well. That's a nice card, that. It's a nice card. What I really love, Oliver, you probably won't be aware of this, but we've kind of grumbled politely about this for quite a few years, is that Upper Deck are terrible at crediting artists on the back of their cards. Right. So for the recent Marvel Platinum set, for example, we had this conversation with Ben Brady, and I said to him, Ben, are you at all vexed that your name is not on the card at all? And he was very polite about it, and he didn't really lean either way. But this is a big deal, right? Because we've been saying for ages, and when they use comic art, they've not been crediting that either. So what they've really kind of leaned into it, and so they're crediting both, who's done this on the back, but also then of course the artist on the front. Oh, there we go. And hats off Upper Deck for doing that. Thank you for finally listening, because personally, I think it's a real slight if you weren't on that.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for it. There's plenty of room. It doesn't look cluttered. It's clean. It's
nice. I dig it. Right. What else we got? Well, let's look at her, shall we? I love that Phoenix.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, might be one of my favorite cards in the set, actually.
My baby.
The bird, that's tough. I mean, it's tough to do the Firebird right, and that's awesome.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
And the red outfit.
Nice.
The sash.
You had fun with this one, didn't you, Oliver?
Oh yeah, literally. I think I saved that one of the first round. I saved her till last, so I could like pelt through the others to get to that one.
That
was my reward, basically, to myself to paint that one at the end.
That's awesome.
And the bird looks like it's like kind of in attack form too.
Yeah, I like the way they're mirroring the poses. Yeah. It reminds me of kind of something that dancers do when they're on the stage.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a Dark Phoenix Reborn outfit, isn't it?
Yes, because it's Phoenix Resurrection, so it's the Marvel Legacy kind of by Lineal U on the back. They've credited him.
Was this part of the first set of characters they gave you? I'm sure, or did you requested?
Yeah,
that's cool. Being able to get all your first picks.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool. Because we've spoken to artists on this before, and they've been like, someone else got there before me, and this had already gone. It was like bastards. But no, it's cool that you got the first pick. It's like it's like when you're at school and there's always someone who's picked last for the team. Usually me, by the way. Right, let's talk about Carnage, baby. Oh,
the crazy symbiote.
I love that. Now, so you strike me as more of, are you more of an X-Men kind of leaning kind of person?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we find people are usually either Avengers, X-Men, or if they're neither of those two, they're very much on the Spider-Man kind of verge of things. There aren't very many people who do Fantastic Four from kind of growing up. But yeah, no, this is great. I love it. Can I just say, I love how you've kept all of the kind of the fluid stuff coming out of him relatively under control. Because a lot of artists kind of overdo that a little bit. And you kind of tend to lose the form a little bit. But I
wanted to have an essence of the fact that it was kind of like not completely contained within him, because it's like his brain is a bit scattered. But there was a level of control to him. A level.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
That's a great way to look at it.
I love that. So who's they? So they've gone with the absolute carnage on the back. Ryan Stegman. Art on the cover. It's interesting who they've paired you with. It's kind of like when you see people pairing cheese with wines. They've clearly kind of given you the reference as to what period they want in all those notes.
Yeah.
And then they've kind of paired it on the back of the cards, which I really like.
I'm glad they didn't make you do a spiral.
Oh right.
What on his?
And
on
I think
his
the other thing as well, with
I've had beef with that
out,
since they did it.
Yeah, it's not. It ruins it.
Yeah, I don't. What is the spiral?
It was during the whole null, like ultimate he takes over and gets bigger powers, and he's able to control more symbiotes while he's under that.
Yeah, it's something to do with like the original Mark or something, but it's not really. It takes away from it. It
looks corny.
Yeah,
it does. I'm going to try and drive to your Instagram, because it suddenly occurs to me I don't think we've got all of your cards in hand between us, which is like
I don't think I've actually posted all of them yet either.
Haven't you? Let me have a butcher's at you. Talk amongst yourselves while I try and navigate the Instagram. I can never do two lots of things in one go here, and it's terrible of me. I'm always doing this when I'm trying to drive. And
did any of these become inserts? Were any of your?
Sorry.
Did any of the characters that you picked, did they let you know if they're going to be a base card, an insert?
The all of the ones I knew that I was going to have to sign at the end of it, and that's all I knew.
I think they're all base cards, actually.
Yeah,
that's
what I see.
I'm pretty sure they are. Right, I have managed to actually find what I was looking for really quickly, which is unheard of for me. This podcast is usually filled with half an hour of me fumbling around. Sentry.
Oh wow.
Sentry. Look at this.
Look at Bob.
See, why didn't we do this before rather than faff around with really dodgy cameras? Why didn't we just scroll through? We could have just had an hour of Oliver just doing an audio commentary like people do in movies of his Instagram feed. It's like, okay, tell us what your motivation was in this scene, Oliver. I'm not massively familiar with the character of Sentry, but I dig this piece.
I wasn't either, to be fair. And so I started doing some digging on him, and realized that he'd actually got some crazy abilities, like to be like, I think he's got like the power of 1,000 suns inside him, that kind of level of energy. And he has like these internal battles with himself where he's literally manifests this something called the void, is it? That he literally has to go and battle and then come back and then be Sentry again. Otherwise, if kind of the void takes over, then like he loses his shit and like with these psychic powers comes out and like don't get in his way type thing. So it was nice to be able to paint him on a good day. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That background is amazing.
Yeah, like the cosmic with the
It looks like a supernova.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was going for with the big solar flares.
Right. It's awesome.
That is really cool. I love that. What I really like, what I've noticed, I don't know if you knew any of these other artists beforehand, Oliver, but I've noticed there's a real kind of supportive kind of vibe between you all. So Jonathan Kolsch, Ty Romser, Ben Brady, you're commenting on each other's pieces.
Absolute dudes. Yeah.
And had you kind of crossed paths with them at all, professionally or remotely or in person beforehand?
Nope. Not until the set.
This is cool.
I didn't even know, like, I didn't really start chatting to Ben Brady until both of our artworks were released on, it was Molecule Man, and I think his Ant-Man was released on the preview set, or those little 4 cards.
Wow.
And that's the first I kind of knew, because we didn't know any of the other artists that were working on it. So
okay,
we were signed up to an NDA, so it's not like we could go, is anybody else working on this? And you're like,
yeah. I'm with you. So you're all kind of there working in secret, compartmentalized, like the Manhattan Project. And then you all come together. That was pretty good. That was pretty cool for me, actually, coming up with that analogy.
That was.
That was, yeah. Thank you. I'll take that. No, this is cool. It's like the Flair 2024 Artists Club. It's really cool to see. I've loved kind of seeing you commenting on each other's stuff and just going, just giving each other mad props. Now, how long did it take you to sign all these? Because you'd have had a fair number. Yeah, you'd have had a fair number.
But I didn't have that much time to actually sign them because
that's awesome.
Part of our contract is it's delivered. You have a certain amount of time until it's delivered to send it back for them to be received. And I was kind of twitching a bit, shall we say, because they were going to send it to me when I was doing my IX exhibition last year, or I think it was, in October. And I was like, I'm not in the country. Of all the bloody times you want to send it to me, that 2-week slot, I am not here. So they ended up like sending some more over to me, and I had to sign them off. And you get like 4 or 5 days to get them, sign them all, send them off.
Good grief. Okay.
It looks so good in canvas.
Yeah, the canvas looks really cool.
It looks so good in canvas.
I've always wanted to ask someone this because they're hard numbered. What if you muff it?
Yeah.
What if you muff the auto?
The pen just stops, gives you a little gap.
Yeah. Or you sneeze.
I can't actually tell you how many times I was signing a piece of paper to the left of me, going, right, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up. I must have signed my names more on the paper than I did on the actual cards. And the pens they gave us, I mean, I'm so glad the other artists have got this kind of agreement that these, I've still got it actually, the one that they gave us. They're like these massive, chunky felt tip type things. And so from that, I'm like, you can hardly do your name. So I'm like, I'm going to swap, I think, to these little ones, because this is what I've been signing my little thumbnails with. And my writing is quite scratchy, as it were. But trying to sign it with those big chunky ones, I look like a 3-year-old trying to sign a card. So I was a little bit conscious of the fact that, my writing just looks terrible. But
goodness, I mean, I love the canvas effect on them. I really do.
Yeah,
it did come out really well.
Sorry, have you opened any boxes yourself?
No, I haven't. I've been speaking with what's his name, Justin, and apparently some people might be sending some like extra copies of their cards to some of the artists because they took our like contact details. So if they got extra ones and that if we wanted them, they would send them off, because that's the only thing Upper Deck didn't do this time, was actually give artists a copy, like at least like one set of the cards they did. And like I would just like one just as a little memento.
These three
are
less than 50 miles from where you live right now. So drop me your address afterwards and I'll get these.
Yeah, we'll Absolutely. I gotta have some doubles too.
50 miles. That's pretty. That's close.
Yeah, he's close. He's close.
That's-
I mean, if I
wow.
open the window and shout, he probably not hear me. But but yeah, we interrupt this, by the way, for an advertisement, which we don't do, by the way, but I've decided to do it. I'm drinking in this Upper Deck branded Yeti flask. That's not the advert. And I wanted to see what Oliver's reaction to this, because this is a very, very British thing. Yorkshire tea, malted biscuit.
The malted biscuit.
Have you heard about this, Oliver?
I didn't until, ironically, I got given some by a lady when I went over to IX, and I was hunting for tea over in America, and you guys don't seem to do anything but Lipton, which I might as well.
It's a shocker.
Yeah,
It's a shocker.
not bother with. And she gave me a load of that, and I was a bit like, "What is this heaven in a cup?"
Now I'm 6 days into the new part of my life. My life is now equally divided in before, absent, lost, wandering in the void. Afterwards, I'm found. This stuff. Now, Americans probably won't get this, okay? Because you've got different taste, different water, all this sort of stuff.
Oh no, I had to learn.
Getting a decent. Oh yeah, because your partner's English. So Yorkshire tea is from Yorkshire, so very proud Northern. And they've brought out several flavors actually. I know it sounds bizarre, but this literally tastes like tea and biscuits. So when I finished my first cup of it last Monday, I was looking in the bottom of the mug to see if I had biscuit
biscuit crumbs.
Because people dig, English people, they dip biscuits, especially malted milk biscuits.
Wow.
Into tea, and it tastes like tea and biscuits. It's heaven in a mug. So
it is.
There we go. If any American friends want this, tough, because I ain't buying it and sending it over. I'm going to drink it myself. But it's absolutely phenomenal. So next
year,
let
me know. I'll bring some over in October.
Yeah.
Ian, send me one pouch, but I want it signed.
I'll get Oliver to sign it in his massive chunky pen. So Oliver, now you just dropped something there. Are you going over to America again in October? Is that what you just dropped?
Yeah, because I got into the main show.
Ah, of course.
So
right.
Actually,
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know the timeline. Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good. So normally I'd save this bit where you pimp yourself to we're more at the end of our conversation. But at the moment, I'm going to say, if people wanted to see you and or your work in October, could they do so?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
details
the
coming to your
Goggle
Instagram
Works
soon. Right.
in Reading.
Okay, Pennsylvania, not Berkshire.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, see, look at Keith's thinking road trip.
That's striking distance for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Keith's in Jersey. Where's these Ohio and
it's
Josh
not just
and
me.
Jason
There's
are Florida. So,
loads of insanely good people there. Like so good.
Oh,
they held
goodness.
like a week-long main show. So they've got people like Donato Giancola, they've got Boris, Julie, Scott Fisher, all that lot, all the big heavy hitters on like the main week, as it were. And then they've got a showcase, which is what I did last year. And they've got like 130 artists that either don't get into the main show or just do digital stuff, because the main show is purely traditional work. And the showcase is traditional and digital, but if you only showcase for the weekend, that's what you end up doing.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to put a link to that in the show notes. So if anyone wants to have a look and, get yourself down there, then wow. So here's a question. You probably haven't done, especially being in the UK, because we simply don't have them over here. You probably haven't done a show, a Marvel kind of more pop culture themed show or event, have you?
Nope.
That would be quite a lot of fun. You want to see if you can tag one on. If there's any local ones nearby, you could have a two for that.
To be honest,
yeah.
This past 2 weeks has just kind of gone.
I was going to say you've probably had a bit of a mad couple of weeks of shit. Everyone suddenly knows my name. This is I mean, how? And I asked this of Ben. I said, Ben, how does it feel to suddenly have a new audience, and probably quite an intense one as well compared to.
It is intense. It's incredibly humbling, and I kind of have to get over the imposter syndrome a lot of the time. Like, when are they going to realize that I kind of do this for fun type thing, but I get paid for it? that level of, I love it so much, and I feel so privileged to be able to do this and to have this and give it to people. Yeah, it is phenomenal. I feel utterly privileged to be able to be in a position to create artwork and share it with people.
I mean, you're in a set with Simone Bianchi, Todd Nork, Megan Ettrick. You know, it's like I said this to Ben Brady. Ben got the best. No disrespect to those other people, but first thing I said to Ben was, Ben, you're in a set with Bill Sienkiewicz.
Did he say, shut up?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm gonna go back to your Instagram feed and stop embarrassing you. Right, let's go on. I want to have a look at who else did we see. Right, come on. Now, Carnage we've just seen.
Yeah, I didn't get a
Carnage. Much
Carnage.
better than looking at my. See, you don't get that from looking at the card.
Yeah,
so good.
I didn't get that it was
it's so
above,
good. Yeah,
looking down.
Yeah, I kind of did him on the edge of a building, kind of like, so you were looking down on the square, as it were.
Yeah,
it's organized chaos there with, like, you know, kind of like you were saying, Ian, not too scattered. So some of the symbiotes get a little all over the place, and
you
know, this guy looks deadly.
What I love about this though is if you're the kind of viewpoint, chances are you're not a superhero. So this is probably the last thing you're going to see.
Yeah,
because you'll be falling towards him.
Yes.
And he's going to catch you. So,
or eat you, one or the other.
Right.
Yeah. Game over, quite frankly. Look, there's Benno.
Yeah.
In the comments.
And Biana.
Oh, wow, there's loads. This is brilliant.
Oh.
Right, look at all those.
Yeah,
look at all those Carnage cards. Nice carpet. Is that carpet?
I know that was
That's a table
just
cloth.
before Christmas, and my husband got all the bloody Christmas was fucking everywhere at that point. So I was like, I need this table. So the table runner was in the middle of it, and I was a bit like, I don't care, I've got to do this, and I've got 3 days, so
looks good.
I'm getting it done.
I love it. That's really cool. Right, who have we got next? Hang on a minute. Let's see if we. That's the Gamora. Okay, there we go. Let's go on to the
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I love that. You know what? That looks like that city out of Star Wars. It's kind of, you know, that Coruscant. Kind of reminds me of that. So she's clearly out in space somewhere.
Yeah, I went for the whole like big spaceship vibe.
Yeah.
Because Gamora, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Look at the hair.
But trying to get her more like, she had this weird like diamond shaped sword back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And this very, very showy outfit, which would have been cool, but they needed it Disney-fied, so lots of drapes.
Did you have any kind of reworks or anything, or did everything pretty much get approved off the rip? Did they ask you to do?
No, I had a few reworks. I had to make Wasp's boobs smaller 3 times. I had to
3 times smaller or smaller 3 times?
Smaller 3 times.
Oh, I was going to say, because if they were 3 times smaller, then I'm not sure she'd have lifted off in the first place.
I had to make Magneto's bulge look less like a nappy. And I can't remember what the other one was. I knew there was another one.
I'm trying to see that in an email, you know, like
Eric politely going, can you make him look like he's below a giant nappy? It's like, yep. It can be done.
Wow. Let me have a look at the piece we got. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You still have that original Wasp out?
Oh, wow, I have not seen.
Do you have it unreworked?
I haven't seen this one.
No, I haven't seen this one either. Wow. Rocket. People have been having fun with Rocket.
Man, this is perfect.
That's
you stripe the tail, and everything. Man, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. The facial expression, the pattern on the coat, oh man, the teeth. Love it.
Did your friend pose for this one?
No. This one I think I just drew straight from my head, to be fair. Because it was like an anamorphic thing between animal and human form. I just drew it. I was like, I'm not really going to get reference for that. The only thing I used reference for was the kind of like the structure of the raccoon's head and making sure that it actually read like a raccoon on his silhouette. And because we couldn't use any violent props, I had to get across that he used guns and tech and like to blow shit up. So I was a bit like, okay, going to go with a detonator because then that would give me a sweet silhouette for him going off behind him. And then yeah, the kind of gun thing, I wanted to get across that he used tech, but as I can't remember, I think it was Joel I was saying too, that thing now just looks like one of those vape pens that people use now. Yeah, it was meant to be just a giant gun type thing, but be kind of like ambiguous as to whether it was a gun or not.
No, that's cool. It reminds me of some of the guns from Aliens, actually. Which I really want to watch again. I've had this craving to watch Aliens again recently. I always think that Aliens would have been a really short film if Rocket had been in it from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? It would have been like 15 minutes long. He would have wiped them all out, and they would have all gone home.
Job done. Boom.
Job done. Yeah,
Next.
maybe that's why. That's why James Cameron didn't call Disney. Here we go. Oh, there's a little video. We won't play that. No, we won't play that. There he is. Look at this. There he is. We're gonna have to. I might have to pinch that photo for your for the episode promo.
That's fine.
Well, no, here we go. Wasp. I knew we were coming up on more. Yeah. Okay. Wow. 3 times. I was going to say you wouldn't have got a 4th, would you?
The facial expression. That's
yeah. The form and the facial expression. Just the. This is a great looking
one
pose.
For the facial expression a bit more.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's
wow.
To not care about this character at all personally, this is an awesome card.
I was thinking the same thing.
Awesome.
That's one of the best Wasp images I've ever seen. It's awesome. Yeah.
And you know what? That's what I love about Flair. And you know, when you get Flair and you get people who may not have done Marvel card sets before, like yourself, you often get like an interpretation of a character that previously everyone's kind of completely just disregarded, and then you'll have a completely fresh take on it, kind of unpolluted, I guess.
I would expect this look to be a dagger.
Yeah.
But this looks awesome as a Wasp.
And you've nailed these backgrounds. You've had fun with this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wowzers.
I wanted to get that like shrinking, blowing up effect.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool.
Oliver, do you have a favorite Marvel character yourself?
Phoenix.
That's very cool.
Wouldn't it have been good if the next one
very close
Phoenix?
Second is Magneto. This is why I was so excited to get them. When I got them, I was literally like,
please tell me you did a little dance.
I did.
Good.
And squealed, but I won't squeal now.
Okay. You can. We often do on this podcast, especially Jason. Yeah, no, I dig that. I really do. Right. Let's have a look. How many did you sign on there? There they all are. Look on the Christmas thing. So next year when you get this out for Christmas, you're going to be like, oh, there's ink on this. You've got silver on it. It's like it's a Christmas thing. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's cool. Some of those,
the ball, the energy orb is from. So there was an X-Men arcade. I think it was like 94 to 96-ish range. And that was the opening scene to the game where he comes out in that orb. And you know, it's like that image there that just takes me right back to that mid 90s X-Men, you know, the colors, everything.
Well, X-Men #1, the cover.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of different versions of Magneto, but he's on point there. That's when we grew up.
Well, doesn't he use this orb a lot in the X-Men 97 show? It seems like there was several episodes where he orbs.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah, right. It's so
come on, it's been months.
I know. I still haven't seen The Wicker Man, and that's from the late 60s, and I'm still the same with it. Like, no spoilers. That's from before I was born.
I didn't.
Anyway,
I mean, the continuation concept. That's all you need. That it the storyline just continues on from. It's perfect.
So I have no idea who this character is. I mean, Hulkling, I know the name, but I'm not familiar. This whole expanded, suddenly there's a Red Hulk, there's Hulkling, there's other
Nothing to
characters.
do with Hulk.
Yeah,
as I thought so.
Really interesting.
Yeah, he's a Skrull, I believe, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Skrull.
Oh, okay.
And he's Wiccan's partner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. See, this is what it's.
I probably should have known, but I hadn't got a bloody clue. But there we go.
Yeah, you can listen. You can tell I haven't read any new comics for quite a few years.
So he was introduced in it was in the early mid 2000s. There was a book called Young Avengers, and it ran maybe 12 or more issues, and it had Hulkling, Wiccan, a bunch Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. But it was a really good series. It didn't last long, but it's worth checking out.
What's that called? Young Avengers.
Young Avengers, yeah.
And I think his recent arc, he kind of like took over as Lord Supreme of Skrull Empire briefly, or there was a.
And that's what the sword is. The sword is the leader of the Skrull Empire. Have the sword, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I've learned things on this podcast. Everybody, thank you very much. No, I dig it. Where is he right now? Is he kind of, because there's like rocks,
space?
Is he in space?
Yeah, having a bit of a flit out and going crazy with the power of the sword. Because he's got some interesting abilities. Like his dad was, I think, Captain. Was it? Let me get this right. I did look it up. His mother was like the princess or the queen of the Skrull, and his dad was Captain Marvel.
Okay.
So he had like huge speed, fly, all that kind of stuff that Captain Marvel did.
Yeah. Cool. And I think we might have nailed all the 13 actually, because this is the first one you posted on your Instagram. So we've got. Let's just tick these off. So we got Hulkling.
I did. Actually, if you go into the first post at the top, I think they were all on that. I think.
Oh, are they?
On that one there, on the Phoenix one on the right.
Oh, up sorry.
Side.
Apologies. One sec.
That's right.
It's one of these videos. Oh, these look so cool. These look so cool. I'm gonna have to go and check them out. Right.
No, that's just me painting. Don't worry about that.
No. I like this. This is cool. So this is obviously you working physically rather than.
Yeah,
digitally.
traditionally.
Yeah.
Most of my stuff now is done traditionally.
Right.
Awesome.
So this is fascinating listening for people when we're just sitting here open mouth, just gazing at.
What was this gene for?
That was like an homage to the latest release.
Oh, okay.
So where is it?
Where is it? It's in my drawer. I haven't done anything with it yet.
Oh, well, you need to. Yeah. See, I think what Keith's alluding to is here. He's taking my money now, quite frankly. So yeah, you need to get it out your drawers and sell it. The painting that is. Sorry. Right, let's go on to the next one. There we go. You can't take me anywhere, can you? Right, so here we go. So we got Phoenix. Oh, we've lost Oliver. Oh, he's gone to get it out.
He's gone into his drawers.
Just yeah.
Right, hang on a minute. Let me just stop sharing.
Oh man.
Hang on. Wait. Oh wow.
There we go.
You're gonna get slaughtered after this airs. That's getting sold.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
Nice.
And the detail in the pink
That's so
whatever
cool.
magic, that's awesome.
that's amazing.
You see, what I love, Oliver, is I know that these are digital pieces, so people can't earn the original art, but people are very, especially post-COVID in the hobby, there's a much more of awareness and a desire for collecting original art from some of the pieces. So the fact that you've got these preliminary sketches available to offer people who will, because people will go after and try and rainbow that Phoenix. And I think you're aware of what rainbow means in trading card terms.
No.
So that's when what Upper Deck tend to do these days, and to be fair, this isn't new, but Upper Deck have really gone for it, is there will be a base card version of this. Then there will be a different color foil version of this numbered to 299. Then there'll be a version of it numbered to 199, and a version to 99, and a version to 50, and a version to 10, and a version
Canvas.
and there'll be a 1 of 1.
Yeah.
That'll have a certain color foil, and only one of them will be printed.
I see. Right.
And so,
like my Professor X is blue.
And then you will have printing plates. So there'll be 4 printing plates for this card: Magneto, Cyan, yellow, and black. Sorry, not Magneto. magenta. And they're literally the what they use for the cards. They cut them up and they file off the edges, and they put them into packs.
Okay.
So someone who is rainbowing will try and collect as many different versions of that card or of that art or whatever. So, but of course they can't get the original art because it doesn't physically exist. It's in a computer somewhere. But that is why they're probably going to go very quickly, because people will. I guarantee someone out there is rainbowing that Phoenix.
Absolutely.
I guarantee someone is rainbowing that Carnage.
Someone's.
Someone's. Yeah, exactly. So, and I know of at least 2 collectors who'd be going after that Magneto pretty hard. So, you will find that is where you will get, a lot of attention. And then the people who collect those characters, because you've appeared in a Marvel set, if you draw something, sorry, that's probably really insulting. If you create something like the piece you just showed us, there will be people who will go after it because you are now an official artist on a Marvel set.
Gotcha.
So it does add that kind of, I'm not sure if you're aware of the world that you've just entered, but welcome to the next phase. I was hoping you were going to say yes, I'm on another Marvel set, but I can't tell you what.
I would add a button on your website for commissions like tomorrow.
Right.
We're getting him all the ideas. Can we collectively be your manager?
Actual example I've got. So here's your orange.
Let me just spotlight that. Pull it back.
So your trim is in blue. This is the one of this is the blue Flair, which is a version of 199 copies.
Okay. Winter
so
Flair,
the trim,
they call that parallel. Yeah.
The Winter Flair. And then your base is going to be orange. And then, as it cascades down the lower serial numbered cards, and that's become such a big thing optically to have the 3 or 4 or 5 different versions with the printing plate.
Different colors. Yeah.
Okay. And then if there's maybe a penciling or something like that can be the main piece in a framing, everyone's going to put the versions of the card at the bottom or the top. And
so keep your eyes on your Instagram. Probably in about 5 to 7 months, you will be tagged in a post where someone who's got the original sketch thumbnail of that Phoenix has framed it, and all the cards are around it with the plates.
That will look pretty sweet.
I absolutely guarantee that will happen.
It looks great when people do it.
It will happen for one of the others. And it's so cool. So when people do that, I mean, it's not cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. People are pretty committed when they go for it. I mean, you got to feel for us card collectors. At this point, you're going to say, "No, I'm not. I'm going to make money from them." But you got to feel for us card collectors, because Marvel Platinum, the other original art set that recently came out, that Ben was on as well.
Yeah,
there were over 20 parallels of Black Cat that Wesley and I collect, and that's not including the printing plates. There were 20 different versions printed with different foil effects. So you had the base, you had the rainbow, you had a blue rainbow, a purple rainbow, a red rainbow, a black rainbow, a yellow rainbow, a yellow rainbow spotlight, blue tracks, blue teal, green crackle, purple pixels, cosmic, seismic, golden treasures, 1 of 1. Then you had autograph.
I don't know how you remembered that many.
Yeah, that's impressive. I was going to say the same thing.
Very impressed. Well done.
They're all listed on my bank statement.
Somehow it didn't manage to ruin the set. I was so worried when we were looking through that checklist and got dizzy. Got dizzy for a while trying to scroll through how many different parallels, but it didn't ruin the set.
People have been digging it. People have been digging it. So, and people are really digging this Flair set as well. Do do you have you managed to collect any cards? I mean, I know you're familiar with Boris and Julie's work. Do you actually collect any, or do you feel a calling to collect any other than the ones that you've been on?
I don't collect any. I love, if I can, to go and see any of the exhibitions of the actual artwork that people do. So if I get to go and see some actual artwork and study it and kind of go, how did you do that type thing, then yeah, I'll go and do that. Yeah, that's my passion, is to actually go and see the artwork.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you've got at least one trip to the States coming up where you may see some of that cool stuff. As a European, it's quite challenging because not a lot of the work that you see on the card sets makes it over here in its original form. I mean, there are collectors who display pieces at shows in America, the pop culture cons and the card shows. I guess the nearest thing we've got is kind of the things that happen in Italy. The Lucca shows that Simone Bianchi and Lake Como, that quite a few of the big American artists.
Everything requires a flight. That's the trouble.
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, if you're going to go somewhere, let's go to Italy. Yeah, and drink lots of really nice wine, and have cheese, and just be Italian for a week.
Yeah, we went there this year for our 10-year anniversary.
Wow. Nice. Wow. Whereabouts?
We flew into Rome, then we went down to Naples, and we did a bit down Sorrento. And kind of Crane down that way.
Yeah, I know Sorrento. I've been to Sorrento about 6 times. We went for a honeymoon.
It is lovely.
It's absolutely stunning. Can I just say, guys, if you ever manage to get on a plane and go back to I was going to say go back to your roots, Keith, because you've got Italian.
It's on the list.
Get over there, mate. Get over there. I always joke to Keith. I always joke to Keith Speroni that he needs a pint of Peroni in Italy, and he needs to do this stuff. So, what next for you, Oliver, on the horizon? What have you got coming up? I mean, you obviously have this project with Upper Deck. I'm sure you'd love it if they picked up the phone and rang you again to work on a set.
Oh, that would be lovely.
That may or may not be Marvel related, because they've just picked up the DC license.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks interesting. So I've got the exhibition to prepare for. And then I'm trying to see if I can get permission currently, if I can get the work that I did for Flair retrospectively painted in oils. That's my next thing, which will be fun if I can do that. That would be good. So we'll see. I don't know if we have to take this out at some point, but we'll find out soon enough.
Okay. Well, listen,
because I'm in contact with my art director. Apart from that, no, I'm just hitting up other art directors for work. Joys of a freelancer. We're always on the hustle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is I gotta say, I'm loving it. I mean, I don't collect many full sets these days. I tend to go for certain artists. So Simone Bianchi is my main one at the moment. I'll be going for his cards. But I've got to be honest with you, I could murder a page with your Wasp and Phoenix and a few of these other characters in. Absolutely. And that's the thing. People will go after certain artists. If you want one. What's that, sorry?
Thumbnails are still on the site if you want one. I don't think anyone's nabbed a Wasp. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that Green Goblin's still there too. I'm fighting not pushing the buy button, especially the prices.
Push the buy button.
You got some good.
Push the buy button there. I mean, done. Seriously. I mean, they're beautiful pieces. Have you considered? I mean, you've obviously worked at that size already from doing those thumbnails. Have you kind of had any experience of doing sketch cards, because they're massive in the Marvel?
I asked my art director what the deal with those was, and they said it was only the people that did the traditional stuff, like the actual sketch cards, get sketch cards to then do commissions with, as it were. Like any of the digital artists don't.
Okay.
So,
however,
you
could make up some pretty nice Oliver Harbour PSC sketch stock, branded on the back, and start doing your own chisel. Because I mean, you kind of already have started. I mean, look behind you. That's a glorious desk you've got going on there, and I've been loving watching the little videos.
Thank you.
So yeah, listen, all success to you, mate. I think it's fabulous having some I'm going to say fresh talent makes it sound like you've just stepped off the art boat, but of course you haven't. You've got some background behind you, but having these new artists come into the Marvel card scene this year has just been, for me, I've loved it. I've loved speaking to some of you guys. So yeah.
And one thing we know, you'll definitely have more work, because once Upper Deck finds something and the community reacts the way that people are, they'll be calling.
Yeah. Yeah, because Upper Deck watch these, they digest all the content, because they'd be mad not to, because they see what people are excited about. So yeah, and Oliver is proof that I'm not the only Englishman who liberally peppers his speech with swear words just as a manner of speaking. It's not just me. I fucking love it. How about you, Oliver? Yep. There we go. I'm gonna circle us into land and let Oliver go off and enjoy the rest of his Sunday. But before we do, I've got three things to say and or ask. First of all, any of you other fellas got any more questions for Oliver before we let him go and enjoy being artistic?
I noticed that you had to start with like fantasy stuff and dragons, and I know we don't have time to get into all that, but did you have like a favorite book that you read growing up in that universe, like any Dragonlance stuff?
Magician by Raymond D. Feist got me into fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Has anybody read those series or not?
No,
I haven't. I grew up on the Dragonlance books and read a lot of those.
And the Earthsea Quartet by Anne McCaffrey.
Okay. I also wanted to compliment the you had a horse picture on your Instagram that you did with the looked like it just got out of war. That's amazing. And yeah.
Are you on about the Pegasus one with the
was it a Pegasus? I didn't.
Yeah,
it had like 3 scratches on its.
Right, I'm just going to share the screen.
Yeah, I did the Pegasus too. There was the unicorn, and the Pegasus. The unicorn. That one. Oh, yeah, that was a dark unicorn. So.
How did I miss the horn?
Both personal pieces, really, because I came from a very horsey background, and the idea of a unicorn being this magical beast that protects you type thing, and so it will bear your scars. So there's this like shadowy void of like this little kid who's been protected by this unicorn, and it's borne the scars of its protection type thing.
Yeah,
so
and
that was the
blood
story behind
dripping
that
off the horn as well. Look at that.
That's a great story.
Yeah. I don't think I will show this to my 8-year-old daughter, even though she's mad about you. I think I'll give it a few years. But that is phenomenal.
And then there was another one of it's a Pegasus foal that has basically been almost through like an atomic blast, but I don't think I posted that one here.
I just saw the Zelda. That one looked really cool too.
Which one?
Yeah, that was my first competition I ever entered
into
the Nintendo competition.
Oh, there's Eric.
That's Eric.
Eric. Yep. Haven't had him on as yet, but he's done an intro for the audio podcast, but we haven't had him on yet. I'm dying to have him on because he's done some banging Marvel sets.
He's a good man.
Where are we? Sorry, Keith, help me out here. Where am I going?
Was that Ursula? Down a bit.
Little Mermaid.
Yep.
Sorry, let me take a moment. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Sorry. Always makes good audio listening. This I just go. I dig this one. I really dig this one.
Yeah.
Because I'm a real fan of those kind of 70s, 80s, especially kind of pulp paperback novels that had these artists who did the most incredibly imaginative spacecraft on them. There's one in particular whose name escapes me at the moment. Who's quite famous for them, and he did quite a lot of books as well, that I just used to love reading when I was like a kid, when I was kind of 7, 8, 9. I used to just look at these books that just had imaginative pictures of spacecraft. So this kind of really tickles that for me.
Yeah, this was an exercise we were doing with students, making spaceships out of household stuff. So I just stuck my velvetizer upside down. I was a bit like,
that's really cool. Oh, of course, yeah. Is that
awesome.
is that a house chocolate one? Hotel
Yeah.
du Chocolat. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a chocolate brand we have in the UK, folks. It's really good, really expensive. Wow. Okay. Sorry. Let's. I'm trying to find this Zelda piece that Keith spotted.
It's slightly below the 6-piece that he did. Keep going. Keep going.
That Jinx is awesome.
Next, one more.
Hang on. Is that the guy from Pixar? It is.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh wow.
That moment there, because I lost my mum to a brain tumor about 5 years ago. Might be more now. It sounds really bad, but when she went, I just kind of erased that moment in time from my mind. So I find it actually really hard to remember when she went. But that moment there, every time.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful film. Such a beautiful film. I was watching it again with my girl the other week. It's good. Anyway, onward. Pixar recommended. If only for the drunk unicorns at the beginning. Where are we? I'm trying to find this Zelda piece.
There it is.
That one?
Yep.
Bloody hell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's got it going.
Yeah.
Hello, space whale. Is that a space whale of some kind? Yeah, looks like it.
Wow. And he's in water, and the whale is up there.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
A long time ago, I did that.
I love it. That was
done for a competition, and I came second. Actually, I got a little free copy of was it Spirit of the Wild or something? I don't remember which one it was.
They gave you some free shit basically for coming second. Is that right? Good. It's always good to get free shit. Here's a question then. So this is going to be the second thing I was going to ask. Do you make prints of any of this stuff available, and or for commissions or any available artwork? Where can people go to find you, Oliver?
For commissions, you are more than welcome to either email me directly. You can use my contact form on the website. Prints, I do have a few print runs running on the website. Not many, to be honest, because I'm kind of like dipping my toe in the water with it just to see what people like and what they don't. I do try and put my original artwork on the site. I'm being a lot more like website conscious. So I've tried to make it as smart as I can and like as easily navigatable as possible. That's kind of like my little pet baby project, is to try and make my website as easy as possible to navigate and all that kind of stuff. Because I know I am terrible at social media. I have been, so I've just been trying to actually remember to post it and be like, yeah, I exist. Hello.
I was going to say, judging by your Instagram feed of late, I think you're doing pretty well with it. So
I'm exhausted, honestly. Just
it is a lot of work.
Content. I've been using that bloody Meta business suite just to schedule the stuff for the week, because otherwise I waste so much time. I just sit down over Sunday morning and go, right, I'm going to post this that day, this that day, this that day, and just like get it done, and then I don't think about it for the week then, and I can just crack on and actually paint.
So, and your website is oliverharbour.com, correct?
Yes.
Marvelous. I will put that in the show notes so people can click on it to their heart's content. I'm lost, so I'm going to stop looking at it because otherwise I will not be able to talk. And what's your Instagram, Oliver? Pimp your Instagram.
Oliver Harbour.
Oliver.Harbour.
Yes.
There we go. And the dot is important. Was
there
another Oliver Harbour on Instagram, so you had to put the dot in there?
I don't know. I think I created it and then I forgot the password, or I couldn't use the email, so then I just had to recreate it.
We've all done it.
Which is more than likely.
We've all done it. It just occurs to me I didn't queue you up for the ending of the podcast, so I might ask one of the other guys to do it, because otherwise it's painful for the audience to listen. Because we always ask people to sign off the podcast by saying "enjoy collecting," but I didn't queue you up on that before we started recording. So this isn't at all clumsy and awkward. So before I return to that and put you on the spot and ask you to say "enjoy collecting" to finish the podcast, can I tell you a joke?
You can.
How do you turn a dog into a blacksmith? You give it a kick in the bollocks and watch it make a bolt for the door. Who knew? I was Keith is head in hand. Keith looks pained. Who knew that we'd have someone who's got blacksmithing in his professional career that I could tell that joke to? I didn't know before we sat down 2 hours ago, and I feel like I've accomplished something today by getting that joke out into the world. Oliver, you've been gorgeous. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Nice job, Oliver.
Oliver, would you like to sign off with the sign off that we have every week on the Marvel Card Collectors podcast?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sign off with?
Would you like to sign off and tell people to enjoy collecting, as we always do every week on the Marvel Card Collectors podcast?
Enjoy collecting.
You see, I knew he had it in it. Thanks for listening, folks. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment to like, subscribe and share on YouTube or the podcast platform of your choice. The podcast can be found by Googling @the MCC Pod, which is also a handle on Facebook and Instagram. If you have an idea for podcast topics or want to be on the podcast, please reach out via social media or email us at themccpod@gmail.com. Our Facebook communities are MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. Creative design and logos for the podcast and groups are by artist Michael Munshaw. You can find him on Instagram @artofm2. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, collect your way and always be kind to others. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.